Welcome to Mind Shifters Radio. And today is Monday. Yeah, Monday. We're on vacation, so one day runs into the next. Monday, June the 22nd, 2026. And welcome to the show, Miss Sally. Welcome, Michael.
Thank you, dear heart, and welcome, everybody. Everybody is you and Sally and I, and your voice is still clipping just a little bit, Jeannie, so maybe if you stay close to the microphone. And here's Miss Susan Bingham. Welcome, Susan B. Glad you're here. Delighted
Hello,
and
Michael.
honored. Hey,
Where are you?
we are in Branson, Missouri. We're at a Holiday Inn resort with our two grandbabies and Michael J. and his wife. And so we're getting ready. We've got some friends we haven't seen in several years that live here now. So we're going to go have dinner with them tonight, and it's playtime.
Nice.
Is my voice coming across all right?
For me, yes.
Good, okay. Jeannie's was clipping a little bit, so I want to make sure mine wasn't.
Yeah.
So do you have anything exciting happening in your world? Anything on your mind?
Well, I want to make a little report. The Refugee Center, what was it? National Refugee Day was Saturday.
Right.
And usually every year we run a party on the lawn of our church for the refugees we are teaching English to. But
Right.
this year we gathered for a film showing, and I'm trying to remember the name of the film. It was devastating. Michael, this was beyond the most intense reporting of what this was about Syria. And it was, although it was fictional characters based on real characters, it involved a day in the terribly afflicted Syrian city of Aleppo first.
Yeah, Syria was just an epic tragedy.
A woman doctor tries to escape, a wonderful doctor who was operating and carrying on in a hospital that was being bombed. That's how it started. Lightning flashes, and these doctors just kept their heads down, and emergency after emergency would come in. Sometimes the injured person would have a gun and kill one of them. It was just pure chaos.
Yep.
So she got hold of her daughter, and well, I won't tell the whole story, but it brought home, and no refugees were invited to come to this, by the way. They did not want the refugees. We've been told, do not ask any refugee what they have been through. It's so traumatic. So all of us volunteers and some parishioners and some other people, it was a good house. They showed this movie. The woman who introduced the film said, be careful, there are lots of triggers in here. Well, that was an understatement. It was a trigger from beginning to end. I would have bolted if I felt it would be, I just wanted to stay glued to my seat out of respect, but it was beyond. I feel as if I have PTSD from watching it, and that's pretty lame.
I hear you. We can't even imagine what it is to be in a war zone, I don't think, in this country.
We can't.
So hampered.
But this was the first attempt. This is an Arabic-speaking filmmaker. And the film is called I Was a Stranger, and it's out, but you have to pay for it. It's on, I think, Amazon Prime and some other platforms, Angel. And if you want to really know what's going on, probably it was like Gaza, Ukraine, many other areas are probably similar. But it was devastating, and it was long too. It was about an hour and 3/4 long. But the outcome was one woman, the announcer, told about They didn't name names, told about Marwa and how she had found a family to live with. They didn't want to break anybody's privacy issues or anything.
Right.
And the woman sitting next to me said, I'm single now. I have this house downtown in Allentown. I would love to do that. So maybe one of the great outcomes of this would be that people begin opening their own homes. Since these houses are, these people are fully vetted by the refugee center itself. We learn who
Right.
these people are. So it's
Yep.
safe to offer. It's not like the time Tim and I took in this homeless man and it ended up being, after the fact, a disaster that's ongoing. The guy is just sending us any way he can, sending us hate mail. This is not going to
Yeah.
happen with these guys. So that's one thing. And I think our own parishioners are going to get more engaged there. And anyway, it was called I Was a Stranger.
Got it.
It came,
I've already got it in my card in Amazon.
all right. But I'm warning you, Michael, you have to eat well, make sure you've slept well. be, be ready. It was beyond tears. I mean, people were so floored, they were mute at the end of it.
Yeah. Yeah. Shocking.
Yeah. So anyway, that's my report. It was just a revelation. Even the newspapers, the TV, the pictures doesn't show it the way this did.
Yeah.
So
Well,
I'll
I
mute
breathed
myself.
with you. I
Yeah.
breathed with you through it. Well, let's stay on. Mute
Okay.
with you. Or pardon me, I mute with you. I breathe with you, and that's being able to comprehend and being able to hold the space for this kind of barbarian attitude,
Yeah.
and and recognizing the people who run the game, they've got things like bone spurs. They don't go. They
Yeah.
send others, and it's pretty bizarre. So
Yeah. Right.
definitely,
It
it's
is.
time. 2,000 years ago, there was a gentleman that came to Earth with the tools to end suffering, and
Mhm.
they not only destroyed him, but they destroyed his teaching. I don't know if you remember the opening line in my book, The End of Suffering, starts out with Yeshua saying to the character that he's talking to, "You realize they killed me twice. First, they killed my body, then they killed my teaching."
Mm.
And that's kind of the focal point of this new book that I'm working on. It's all Greek to me. The way they
Mhm.
killed his teaching was to take the tools and turn them into Greek philosophy.
Mhm.
And so, the point of that workshop that I do, and the term that I coined Aramaicisms,
Yeah.
is to reestablish the original Aramaic meaning of those words so that we can
Mhm.
actually bring forward the
Mm.
tools that wake us up to functioning as actual human beings
Yeah.
instead of automatons that are just running generations and generations and generations of pain and trauma, and inflicting that pain and trauma on others.
Right.
And as we talked about on Friday, it starts inside of each one of us. Or what do I need to do in my physiology to be the presence of love with that? Because if I can't be with that fully as the presence of love, then energetically, I'm a contributor to that.
Mhm.
Even though I abhor it,
Yeah.
if I hold the energy that matches it, just like, if I strike the middle C tuning fork on the desk, the second middle C tuning fork starts to move. If I look at drama and trauma and I'm in drama and trauma, it's because the energy of drama and trauma is in me. And when that tuning fork starts moving in me, it spreads its energy. And the whole idea of forgiveness is we can put an end to that and get back to being human. So
You know,
that's
you talk about the physiology, and that's one thing I think everyone in that room experienced. It was as if a man went into my heart and spread his arms and legs out and made my heart grow, and it hurt, but it
mm,
grew. And talk about breathing. I came home, I walked home because the college is only a mile from our house, got
right.
home. And Marwa, our Iraqi woman, said, "How was it?" And I started to tell her just the most bare outline. She burst into tears, held up her
Yeah,
hand, and said, "I cannot hear
can't
this."
do it. Yeah.
And so that reminded me of, you know, how you have a brick wall, and somehow in between the bricks, a plant grows and
Right.
spreads its leaves. That's what these refugees are doing. They are coming out from under bricks and rocks and rubble and choosing to live. Every one of them who has gotten over here deciding to live.
Yeah,
It's phenomenal.
that's a good metaphor for exactly what they're doing, what is happening, and it's really sad that we are such an unchristian nation that those people are being treated the way they're being treated, where
Mm-hmm.
the anyone who says this is a Christian nation and reads, it's interesting that you never hear Yeshua condemning the prostitute. He says, "Neither do I condemn
Yeah.
thee." You never
Mm-hmm.
hear him condemning the murderer or the this or the this or the that or that. He never sends anybody to trauma or drama except the ones who won't feed their neighbors, won't take care of their neighbors, won't support the refugee, won't support the suffering.
Yeah, our
And
priest, our rector was at the film, and he came home, and I saw him Sunday morning. He said, "I wrote my whole sermon over again after seeing that film." And he gave a blockbuster sermon just along the lines of what you're saying.
can you send me a copy?
It's yeah, I could. They
The
lined
link, is it online?
it's the whole service was streamed, so I will find it and isolate
Cool.
out the part. Yes, you'd love it.
I'd love to hear
Also,
it. I'd love to hear it.
yeah,
I'm sure there's something, there are refinements that I could gather that will
all
open
right.
the
And
space for the
the
work
other
we all need to
thing
do.
that Marwa keeps saying, my housemate, she says, "I love this country. I love this country." And I've been saying to her, "Yeah, but look at the mess we're in. I mean, how can you love it?" Now I know why she says that. It's just different. We're
Yeah,
still safe enough over here with the atrocities, and enough, I think, enough pushback from the people who are talking the way you're talking, that we're eventually going to crawl out of this hole we've gotten
yes.
in.
I
So
think we're pretty
anyway,
close.
I hope
I think we're
so.
pretty close. And my suggestion would be, when you start to speak of that with Marwa, that
Hmm.
one of the things that you could do that would be a major contribution to her life would be simply to invite her in the presence of that to lay down and breathe.
Oh
You've
yeah.
got the energy field work papers. You could go through the energy field work and just support her breathing and let that pain and suffering seep out of her tissue.
Hmm. Hmm.
And that would be a major contribution to the whole refugee community. Each person that we could do that with.
Well, that's a good thought. With her, we stand and breathe. We put our hands on our diaphragms and bellies and we breathe. She gets migraines, you know, and we breathe those out as best we can. So we're doing some of it, but I have never thought about that as an organized approach, something we could
Yeah,
do.
yeah, yeah. Perhaps invite her to think of the first time she held her newborn, to tap into
Yeah.
that energy so that she's breathing that third level of breath from the Aramaic, that breath connected
Mm-hmm.
to love, and then get her to breathe to the point. Now, I can't fathom with what she's been through, what the level of resistance, what you observed as you
Mm-hmm.
started to speak to her and she had been broken into tears. That's the
Mm-hmm.
physiological, the mental, the emotional resistance,
Yeah.
locked in physiology. And
Mm-hmm.
I can't imagine how much, what the level must be from that circumstance. But
Yeah.
if you can just help her to start to nibble away at it
Mm-hmm.
and let loose of it, it would be a major, major contribution, because as she can open and free herself of that, then she opens the field for every refugee on the planet to do the
Mm-hmm.
same.
Oh boy. That's a lovely idea.
Well, it's simple physics. It's simple physics and physiology, and I think it's the greatest contribution we could possibly make. That would be the most powerful way we could serve our neighbors. And of course, as that happens, there are going to be some heavy-duty energies that move. So as it moves in her, it will move in you. If there's any left, and you'll get to clear out the next layer for
Yeah.
the next layer for you.
If there's any left, come, Michael.
Yes.
All right. Well, thanks. Thank you.
Of course, I'm being facetious.
You're
I was speaking to
the truth. You're
Yeah,
telling the truth. Shut
there's
up
a
about it,
physician.
Michael.
Yeah, there's a physician in Florida that is stepping forward and wants to support our work becoming more global. And as I was talking to him this morning, and just
Is that Dr. Bart?
Yes,
I just got a text from him. Yeah. Okay.
oh, cool,
I'm on his list, I guess. Yeah.
nice. So, anyways, I was talking to him this morning, just contemplating the suffering that's going on in the world. It's just took me to another level, another level of my need to choose to breathe instead of shut it down.
Well, get ready to breathe a lot.
Yeah.
You know, I've been talking about the series The Chosen, which needs a lot of breathing. Multiply that by 10 for this. It's just beyond. I was glad Tim Bingham hadn't seen it because he's strong in all the ways. He's gotten so much better, but this would have been too much.
Yeah, I hear you. Yeah, it's just, I mean, it's so insane. The closest I think I've shared with you before on the show, the closest I've come to that is in the early days of doing still point work. I worked with a man up in Chicago area who was in Vietnam.
Oh,
And,
yeah.
Drugs were part of everybody's life over there, I guess, pretty much.
Mm-hmm.
And so he was all stoned up one night, and he's on guard duty, and he's got a machine gun there, and in comes a enemy plane, and he shoots it down.
Yeah.
And turns out his drug stupor wasn't an enemy plane; it was his own buddies.
Right.
And his commander made him clean up the bodies of his friends that he just shot down. It's like,
Yeah.
how do you even comprehend that? What do you do with that?
I don't know.
Except breathe.
Or
It's happened.
Yeah. Go ahead.
It's happening, and the only thing we can do is offer the breath and the presence of it to create the dissolution. Because if it isn't dissolved, it's going to be exacerbated. That's what energy does. So
It's just a bigger task than I realized. And I realized a lot, but not this much.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just incomprehensible.
It is.
I hear you. So I join with you and our whole community in making a commitment to take it all to the next level, to create the critical mass that can become the space that takes on the energetic dynamics of the world that are so insane and transmute them.
Yeah. And I was, sorry, I interrupted.
Yeah, go ahead.
I was going to say, any of us listening, if you have any capacity to open your house, go to your nearby, whatever it is. In major cities, there are always refugee issues going on in centers. This would be one way to heal yourself, is to open up that uncomfortable next level.
Right.
And breathe the people into your house. And it's a whole new world. It's just different.
Yeah. I hear you, and I agree with you. We have been so sheltered and we are so innocent.
Yeah. And in part, I think it is that we have not realized how bad it could be, so we just don't know what we need to do because we don't,
Yeah,
it's innocence. It isn't,
yeah,
it's,
we are innocent. Yeah, in the sense of not knowing.
yeah,
And one of the things that I've been working on in relationship to Aria, she's turning 8 and becoming more and more aware. And something I've been working on as her grandfather is how to support her, introduce her to the insanity of the world, because she's going to meet it at some point,
yeah.
but introduce it in a way that she knows she has power over it and doesn't have to fall into it. And that's a big, I mean, I've spent a lot of time contemplating how to do that in piece by piece, bit by little bit, introducing information to her from this work of empowering her, or not empowering her, because I can't do that, but to uncover the empowerment in her that comes from her breath, to be able to,
Mhm.
as this sweet, innocent child, to enter into this fray, but maintain the awareness and the knowledge of her true being and of her innocence, and not, rather than becoming lost and jaded. And that's just that one conversation is I'm seeing for myself is a major piece of work.
Mm.
So joining you in being available for the breath to reveal to us what each of us has as a next step in doing the direct revelation is there.
Mm.
And I am breathing with both all of you on that. Just thinking through whether I have the fortitude. I love the way Susan said, have a good meal and be well rested before you see the movie.
Yeah,
Yeah, I'm deciding if I'm there yet.
yeah,
And I loved the description of introducing Arya to the world of what is about us today. It, it's it's a beautiful story because we're all doing that for each other and all the little people that walk the planet. I find that I I don't see my child from your child. It matters to me all the little people that are learning to navigate in this time. Oh gosh, I'm breathing with them every day. Yeah,
I hear you. It's huge.
it's huge. It's
Yeah.
huge. And I'm mostly listening today unless something pops into my mind because I am at the gym and when Susan was talking, I was like, Susan, keep talking. I'm breathing as much as I can right now. So I do my
Breathing
warm
with
up.
you.
Yes, thank you. I enjoy this show so much and all the learning we share together.
well, Sally, I was thinking about you. I was thinking about all therapists, Michael, Jeannie.
Mhm.
You guys are like the first responders to the first responders. You
Yes.
get the people in there who have the trauma because they're out in the world, and you're out in the world too. But I mean, I think sometimes Tim Hayes talks about having spent the day with 4 clients, all of whom are in crisis of one kind or another. the amount of breathing and softening and allowing and bearing that any therapist does. You were talking about crying with one of your counselees the other day.
Mhm.
It gets like that. Because Michael, I'm with you on calling oneself an empath. I don't do that because I don't trust that label. If I use that on myself, what am I saying? I won't even go into it. But for me, it's too complicated. It would be an ego trip.
Yeah.
Whatever it is, you're saying it's unfinished business. Well, our assignment, whatever it is to allow and breathe and get into that place. In the Course in Miracles, you need to do nothing. Don't do anything. You'll know what to do. You'll be shown what to do, and it will be from a healed space, a healthy space. So our responsibility is to be well and move into the world from a well place. What an assignment when it feels like a direct hit, an assault so often, and it's closing in. Even the film will bring it closer. Then do the work, and you'll be better for it if you do the work and get past that. But I was just appreciating, I'm seeing one client now. It's all word of mouth down here. I only see somebody who calls me up. I'm not advertising, but even with one, it takes a lot of breathing and self-management, healing, consciousness, presence, the whole deal. So you're in the field there, Sally, and I don't know how big your practice is, but all I can say to you is take a few Sabbaths now and again.
And the conversation's needed. One of the things I might offer, Susan, when you talk about thinking about what you can do. One of my offerings would be you've got a pastor that is in empathy with this suffering that's going on, especially
Oh,
with this
yeah.
specific community.
Mm-hmm.
And you've got a whole group of people who are there in support. So how many of them have a clue what forgiveness is? How many of them have the tools? So
Oh,
perhaps something you can
none.
do.
Yeah.
So what if you went into the church, and it's the whole church, the tool of Yeshua's tool of forgiveness, folks? Forgiveness is not about we're going to let them off the hook for what they did, but look, here's how you do it. And all of a sudden, you've got whether it's 10 people that show up or 100 or 1,000. All of a sudden, you've got 10 people, 100 or 1,000 that one carry the energy of the possibility that the tool could be made available to everyone.
Yeah.
Part
Right.
of my conversation with Dr. Radmaker this morning was that the vision is to take this whole, everything we've done in 60 years, get it into an app that anybody can go to Yeshua and say, hey, tell me, what do I do? And actually get to the first century Aramaic. Here's how. But in the
Mm-hmm.
meantime, each individual who takes it to another community, and no, if you take what you know and you're in front of someone who has no knowledge of it, then you're an expert,
Mm-hmm.
and you can open a space for people who can then move it forward, pass it on, and that's how it's going to happen.
Yeah. Great idea. I will think
So,
about that.
so I'd certainly
Yep.
support you if that sounds appropriate, and anyone else who's
Mm-hmm.
listening to take it. And
Yeah, I have a
literally millions of people, billions of people, don't have a clue there's a damn thing you can do. They
Yeah.
don't have a clue. Oh, I'm just suffering. Look at, woe is me, poor me. There's nothing I can do. That's out of 7.5 billion people in the world, that's probably the voice of 7.25 billion of them. And that might
I
be a
have
generous number.
I have an additional comment on that. One of the traps, I want to say trap, of being a therapist is that in my early years, I remember doing everything I could to fix it out there for them without knowing that I hadn't done the repair within. And that is exhausting. And that
Yeah.
will
Yeah.
create burnout.
Mhm.
And so I entered in the next decade, or however many years it was, I entered a phase of recognizing, okay, I need to turn all my energy toward healing those spaces within me that were similar to what my clients were bringing. And if I wanted to continue to work with trauma per se, and people that have gone through hard things, I had to deal with my own hard things.
Yep.
And it's an ongoing, it's kind of like cleaning out the laundry. You know, there's always a little more dirty laundry that I didn't know needed, that was even there. And then when you get doing this for a long period of time, you get to do it. It's like, you don't treat it like, oh, throw the dirty laundry in the closet. You go, wow, I get to clean this up right now. And it feels so good doing it that way. And then when I sit with someone who's gone through hard things, then I really can be the presence of love, and it takes no effort at all.
Mm-hmm.
It's a very different place.
Yes, that's great.
So,
That's
yeah, I
great.
wanted to just put that out there too.
That's wonderful that you can do that. Ah, that's great.
Yeah, it actually, my take is it turns from effort to benefit.
Mhm.
Exactly.
It opens a whole new space inside of each of us. The larger the space is in each side of us, the more of the state of being can flow through us. So I join you in that, Sally. That's awesome. And any support we can be, that's what we're here for. And I see Carrie has joined the conversation. Anything to add to our discussion, Carrie? Where Susan started talking about a new film that's out called I Was a Refugee. Is that it?
I was a stranger.
I
I
Was a
was a
Stranger
Mhm.
by Angel Productions.
Yeah, I think it's on there. I don't think it's free yet, but it's, if you really want to watch something, it isn't that expensive.
And it's a very graphic story of what some refugees have been through. So we were talking about the refugee community she's been working with, the pain and trauma that we can't even fathom, and opening ourselves up to look at our own pain and trauma to be able to open that space wider and wider every day for others.
That's interesting, the name of that film, because I read a book by Valerie Kaur, Kaur, who's a Sikh woman.
Yeah.
And she talks about the same thing. Her book was written, I don't know, 10 years ago or something, called See No Stranger.
Mm.
And she went through all this trauma with her community after 9/11. All the Sikhs who were targeted and families destroyed and violence and all of this stuff. And she came to this place. So the first half of the book is about that. And the second half of the book is about seeing the divine in everyone. And she's set up support groups all over the country. And, she has courses that people do. And it's all about that, see no stranger. And uh, it was this most beautiful transformation, because she had also been engaged to a Sikh man who was she's an American Sikh woman who was trying to squash her everything. And she broke off that engagement and started to see an American man, and her cousin in California said, I'm going to kill you because you're seeing an American man. So she lived for like 10 years with this fear that he was going to kill her. And part of the very end of the book is where she calls him and they have this conversation. And he was like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. That was me 10 years ago. I'm sorry you've lived with all this. You know, they had this most beautiful reconciliation. So I think this kind of attitude is coming more and more into conscious awareness within our community. So we can say, oh, there's more and more violence and disruption and chaos. And I think there's also more and more of how we see no stranger and how we heal ourselves, and people working with the light rather than with the darkness. So I think that's what we need to focus on, is that healing. So instead of focusing on and saying, oh, look how awful this person is or terrible that person is, we can shift that conversation to, you know, what is it that I can do? I don't need to heal that person. I don't need to bring that person's disruptive, disintegrative energies into the forefront of consciousness, because it's there already. You know, people see it. I don't need to be a purveyor of that energy. What I see is that I am a purveyor of the healing energy of the light. And that's who I serve now and forever. I serve the light.
Serving with you, joining you in that. It's definitely time. And of course, the idea of suggesting perhaps watching this film is for each of us to breathe through it and do our own work around us so we can embrace what, for people in the West, and most people cannot even imagine what these refugees have been through, what these folks have experienced. So just to be able to become a space to hold that, to support the processing of that, those carrying that load is monumental. So definitely join you in that, young lady. Anything else exciting happening in your world?
Always.
Well, tell us about it.
So I just completed a course, a 13-week Earth communication course, opening up to the broader energies of the world. It's been a beautiful thing to start seeing the world in a different way, the beauty and the communication with nature and all of that. That's, to me, it's part of my journey of integration of my body, my light energy, my I guess people always say mind, body, spirit. It's become a trite kind of saying. So, what does that really mean? Does it mean just going and having a massage at a spa that says, you know, integrate your mind, body, and spirit? No, it's more. It's deeper than that. It's not the superficial. It's a deep understanding of how the resonance of my body is reflected of the resonance of my mind and my spirit, and vice versa, so that all of me, the entirety of me, is vibrating on a higher level. And that's what I'm experiencing at the moment with, the focus that I'm putting on all of those things. And I'm just loving it. It's like I have easily and with hardly any effort dropped 10 pounds. I am now swimming nonstop, 45 minutes. I don't have to
Good
rest.
for you.
I am eating in a different way, which I think I mentioned before, but it's been a month now since I've been off sugar and not eating any processed foods and feeling amazing. And also working with this other teacher on light energy, ascension, kind of earth-centered shamanism, all of these things. Everybody has their own path, their own things that they resonate with. And this has resonated for me partly because it serves the whole me. And that's why things are awesome for me at the moment.
Sweet. Well, you've been working for it for a
Yeah,
long time, right?
yeah, I have. And it doesn't mean that work hasn't, it has stopped. I'm actually doing a writing workshop this Thursday. It's called Writing from Within. And I'm going to be working on some more of my daddy issues. Doing my own mind shifter. So
Nice.
yeah,
Sweet. Well, holding a space for that.
thank you.
And breathing with you.
It doesn't have none of this has the same emotional charge that it did just 6 months ago.
The benefit of your work. Get the taste of the fruits of your labor.
Yeah, and I've noticed a difference too in my relationship with my husband and how I respond to him more than react. So I'm getting better at responding rather than reacting. So
Well, I'll bet that makes your household a notch more pleasant.
yeah, it does, and I'm taking a look at how I trigger him, and why am I doing that? And it's
Well, you will find the answer if you look at how it felt when your power person did whatever it is you're doing to trigger him when your power person did that to you.
yeah, exactly. That's what I'm looking at because I had done a lot of work with my mother in terms of power person, not really
Right.
seeing the effect of my father. And now I'm seeing that. So that's what I'm working on. And his insecurities that I took on for some reason. But that's what we do, right?
That's it. That's it.
Yeah.
Jeannie had a powerful insight when she first started doing the codependence work. She had quite a bit of conflict with her mom, so that was where she worked and felt that mom was her power person. But then at one of the workshops, did another piece of work, and all of a sudden it was like, oh my God, it's dad.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, and it's interesting that we can, I think one of the things that the child's mind does is it, in order to have some place safe, it makes one the saint and the other the sinner of the parents. When in fact there are issues to be dealt with both parents, the
Yeah.
fact that none of us is perfect. I look back on how I raised my kids and spending time with them now, and it's like, oh my God, I wish I'd known there's so much I wish I'd known when they were small that I'm able to give to Aria that, I didn't give to them because I didn't know it. So,
Right, right. Well, it's interesting because I've gone through what Jeannie went through with my mom and my dad, and my dad was like the saint, okay? Then as I look back on a lot of my worksheets, my punishment was withdrawing. So I would punish myself or others by withdrawing. And now I see that's exactly my dad's MO. That was not my mom's MO. That was my dad.
well, that was exactly the insight that Ginny got. Her dad would leave.
Yeah. My dad didn't leave physically. He left emotionally. Yeah.
Yeah, being emotionally available is a pretty big deal to a child.
Oh, yeah. Especially after early years of being engaged, 1 through sort of 5, and then all of a sudden abandoned. So.
Yeah.
But you and I have kind of worked on that a little bit. I remember that thing you did with me a few months ago.
Right.
And that was just so powerful. So I'm just doing the final remnants of that. Oh,
Nice.
yeah.
Sweet. Well, thank you for holding a space for the community.
Yes.
We all need it.
Okay. Thank you, Michael.
All right. Blessings. So we've got about 10 minutes yet to play. Anyone else that's listening have a thought for us? Susan?
You're inviting me to have another thought, Michael?
Go for it. I like
I
it when
don't-
you have thoughts. You usually open the space with your thoughts.
Well, I'm keying off Carrie, and I might have already told you this. See, my brain cells are always often a little haywire. But
That's a
I
thought
had,
you might want to change.
okay, right, cancel that. Okay.
Yeah.
I did tell you, I'm no longer pre-diabetic. Did I tell you that?
Yes, yeah. You said that your blood sugar changed.
Went to mid normal, not even high normal, just normal. So,
Yay. So
yeah.
are you clear on the piece of grief that you cleaned up to make that shift? Or now I know you said that you did some supplement thing with honey and cinnamon, but
Yeah.
as you did
Okay.
that honey and cinnamon, my take over the years when I've watched people is that grief, the thing that creates the dysfunction, when that energy is resident in the pancreas, that's where tends to go in most people and creates dysfunction there.
Mhm.
So when you started to do that concoction that supported you, can you see where you dealt with anything that was grief based?
Oh, yeah. Yes. I didn't realize there was a correlation, but there probably is. Yeah. Jeannie says, send me your honey cinnamon. I can give it right now, and it's worth everybody's listening. 1 teaspoon of honey, half teaspoon of cinnamon, mix them together and take them uh, just after a meal or don't take it on an empty stomach. You could do it in the evening after your supper. That's all there is to it. I thought, wow, I'm off sugar, but I'm allowed to have this. And evidently so. So I'm off sugar except when I'm not, which is, yesterday we had a big spread of gorgeous things at church and my resolve went right out the window. But I think one day of eating a couple of quote bad unquote things is probably all right if I get right back on it, which I have. So yeah, I've been doing this honey thing for about 3 weeks, and a week ago I got my blood checked, and I don't know whether there's a correlation or not, but if you mention having done grief work, I am a relationship addict and I will probably always be one, but I've had a lot of help from the tools for managing it spotting the tendency at a distance, idealizing people, putting them on pedestals, wanting their approval, wanting them to love me, blah, blah. And I've been correcting that moment to moment to moment, because addiction is a wily son of a bitch.
Yeah, it is. It makes liars of the best of us.
Yeah. So I'm not out of the woods. I'll probably go to my grave with that, although I'd like to think there's a complete cure, but
Or
it's
maybe you won't even bother going to a grave.
now, Michael, don't start on that.
You might. I mean, who knows?
But what I wanted to say is, people often say, I want to feel joy. I want to feel joy. That's my goal. Forget that goal. Joy will come. Leave it alone. Forget about it. It will show up when you've done your stuff.
Yep. Yeah.
And
It's
there's
a,
no logic to it. There's no
no, you
logic.
can't figure it out. You cannot rationalize it. But I have an example. There's a chart that we do of, thought disorders and the physiological effects of suppression, dissociation, and, grief ties to a load on the pancreas. And that's an old naturopathic thing. And, I've watched it over and over, but one time in particular, so distinctly, we had a woman on the support team at Heartland. This goes back 30 years ago. And she came for 1 year. And within days, everybody in the support team noticed, if she doesn't eat, you're facing a tiger. And so everybody would make sure she had food. And if that, emotional state started to come up, everybody in the team would give her food. And we did a still point session one day, and she had the memory of several years earlier. She'd been married to a man, according to her, was the ideal man, the ideal relationship, the wondrous, phenomenal, everything was just wondrous in her relationship with him. And she had not dealt with his death. And during this particular session, she had the full-blown memory experience, physiological experience of him having been in an automobile accident, not an overly serious one, but one where he had to have a transfusion, and they transfused him with AIDS-infected blood, and he died from it. And when literally that day, she looked at that, processed the grief, and the next day, oh, I can eat or not. I don't need to.
That's
Otherwise,
amazing.
it was like just absolute compulsion. You have to, or else you're going to take off somebody's head. So
Amazing. That's a great story.
it's powerful. It's powerful to see. And I see Miss Mitzi's with us. Bridget, anything for either of you two to share with us? We're down to about 3 minutes. So,
Hi, Soul Family.
hey there, young lady. Welcome.
Hi.
How'd those worksheets go?
I'm still working on them.
Good.
Still
Good.
working on it. I rescheduled my surgery, and for this coming Monday, my shoulder
All right.
surgery. I don't know if I told you that.
Yeah, you had
But
shared that, and we'll be holding the space on Monday.
yeah. So I have this week to do some work. I'm having 2 more procedures this week, which I'm grateful for. I have Dupuytren's in my right hand, which is a calcium. It's something I inherited genetically from both sides of my family. My mom and my dad have them, and my aunts and uncles and my grandfathers on both sides. It's calcium deposits build up on your tendons in your hands and your feet, and then well, not for my feet, but in my right hand, it's crippled me over this last year. Like I don't know if you can see it. See that? It's like gives you like a claw-like effect, but
Right.
Anyhow, they have an injection, they're injecting. So that's getting fixed this week. So I'm grateful for that. Mom decided I went to pick up mom on Friday. I think I told you guys that, and I was hoping she'd want to get on with y'all, which we ended up having all this great conversation. And then she went into total denial less than 24 hours later, and attached to her alcohol, really angry with me that I threw out her alcohol when she was gone.
Yeah.
And I was like, Mom, you became suicidal. Like, you did 1.75 liters of vodka in 3 days. There was only this much left in the bottle. And Auntie saw it, when anyhow, she has not talked to me until last night. And I did self-preservation without anger or judgment or disappointment for her. She's been doing this for her whole life, so I understand. It was miraculously lifted from me, my craving and my attachment to it. So, I could only wish that and hope for the best for any other person in this situation who has an addiction. Speaking on addiction. And so anyhow, she finally opened up and called me last night, all worried because it got cold out here outside, and I'm in the garage with even though it looks really nice, the space that I made, anyhow, to invite me in the house, which was nice. So she opened up. And then today I called her to let her know I was at another appointment. That's why I signed in late. Please forgive me.
I'll never forgive you for anything. But if what you do brings up something less than loving me, I will forgive that.
Okay.
Yes. Yeah.
Right
But I'll
on.
never forgive you. I promise. I commit to that.
Okay. Well, thank you. I know you'll cherish me no matter what.
Yes.
As do I. You. So
Hold it in space.
anyhow, I have a full plate this week, guys. I'm going for my procedure tomorrow at 11 for my hand. I don't know how long it'll take, but I'm hoping to get on for a full session tomorrow.
Okay.
I won't be able to do much writing. I could chicken scratch with my left hand. But I'll do my best to be as present as possible this week. And then starting Monday, I'm going in for surgery, and I'll be in. So I'll be living down there, I think, in a medically assisted facility for 6 to 8 weeks
Oh, wow.
while they're pumping hardcore antibiotics into my system. So, to kill this infection they believe I have in my bone.
Well, we'll hold the space that as you do that, you're able to breathe, do those worksheets, and forgive whatever it is that's, I don't know if you were on a show back several months ago. Well, no, you weren't. It was before you started listening to the show, before you got back to the work. But, it's probably, I don't know, a year and a half ago. But I was told in a still point session that I needed to learn to access and forgive what was locked in bone. That was a specific direction I was given in terms of my own process.
Okay.
So as they're doing this procedure, I'll hold a space that you're able to literally breathe into the level of bone, whatever's been locked in there, no matter how many generations old it is. That rather than just fixing the effect of it, which is wonderful. They've got the surgical procedures that some amazing stuff they're able to do. But I'll hold the space that you can, while that kind of stimulation is there, it will very likely make it easier to access whatever energies are locked in bone and free your bloodline of it. So we'll hold the space for that.
Thank you.
Cool. All right.
Well, so blessings to you. Are you still on your journey heading to Heartland, or did you already do that?
We are in Branson for the next week with our sweet and awesome grandbabies. My granddaughter's sitting right here in front of me.
Right on.
Kaylee Joe. So we're here for a week. Then on next Sunday, I'll drop Jeannie at the airport and I'll head to Heartland. So
okay.
I'll be there next week.
Oh, I wish I could meet you. I wish I could meet you and help you in your process there.
Well, you sound like you got some other plans going on.
Yeah, I got some
So
plans.
we'll hold the space for it. All right. Okay.
Right
Thank you,
on.
everybody, for joining us. Blessings. All right, take
Blessings.
care.